in depth about any of the trauma I experienced that have led to my PTSD or my anxiety or my depression. I don't want to go into any details about them, but I want to discuss the effect that these things have had on my life. So my mental health recovery began one night when basically what I now know of as a trigger happened when my wife was helping me with homework. I got so upset and so frustrated, I started losing it. I tossed my MacBook, I punched a hole in the wall, and I had this rage like you can't even imagine, like steam coming out the ears like you see in cartoons, like just kind of that kind of anger. And then I was so freaked out because immediately after that I had what I now know as a panic attack, and I thought I was dying. I've had them before, but this time it was even worse. I was like, what the heck's going on? I can't control my mind. I can't control what just happened. I can't control my anger. All those thoughts you have, like I'm a horrible person, I'm a horrible husband. How could I ever be a future father at the time? And I called my mom, I called my best friend at the time, I called my wife after things kind of calmed down, and that's when I decided, look, I need help. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't control my mind. I can't focus in school. I've ended up having to drop out. Was a 3.5 average student and had to just drop out because of anxiety. So that started my journey. Now my mindset became whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to get my mind back to, as I say, reclaim the mind. That is my mantra as far as my mental health recovery. Whatever it takes to reclaim my mind, no matter how many therapists it's going to take, no matter medications it's going to take, I'm going to get my mind back. So now let's fast forward to present day. It's about 4.5 years since that event. I've seen probably 9 different therapists, 1 psychologist, and have done a plethora of different medications. And let me just be the first to tell you, be patient in that journey and the portion of recovery that involves doctors and medications. I think I went through 7 medications before I found the ones that worked for me and that fit. And it was frustrating. I mean, all the side effects you can imagine. I remember having the suicidal thoughts and that just would not go away. And so I remember calling the hotline several times, and we got off that medication. And but fast forwarding to today, I used to have anxiety attacks every day. I used to be triggered to the point where I would be crippled. I couldn't do anything but go to the gym. Actually, fitness has been my anchor. I'm now a personal trainer aside from doing this, and so the only place I was in control of my mind and control of my goals, where I was doing, I felt completely centered, was in the gym. That was very key to my recovery and continuous recovery. One time it was so bad, I was doing EMDR therapy, which if you're not familiar, it's a type of therapy with PTSD that kind of is supposed to help with recovery. My brain didn't react very well to it, and so I actually made everything worse. Like my triggers were worse than some military veterans that I knew and that I know to this day, and that really hurt my self-esteem because never being in the military, I couldn't fathom or understand how my PTSD triggers could be so bad and so violent. Like one time I had headphones on and I asked my wife, hey, can you snap your fingers and stomp? As soon as she did it, immediate, flushed, tears start coming, weak, fatigued, can't move, and then a full-on panic attack for an hour. So I expected it, I anticipated the noises, but even still. And eventually I did some therapy called brain spotting. Same kind of concept, but for me, I reacted very well to it, and it helped me to, essentially now I don't really have any PTSD triggers. I mostly deal with panic attacks and deep depression now. I'm not going to lie, 3 weeks ago I was texting the crisis text line about 4 times a week. Never any plans to end it, but just wanted to escape somehow. And it was dark, and I don't wish depression on anybody because it is so heavy, and it's really hard for me to share this with you guys, but I feel like me sharing it will help you. So people will get this perception of me because I'm running a mental health organization that I'm recovered, that I'm fine, that I have a picture perfect life, and that's just not true. I do have a very picture perfect life outside of my head, to be honest, but the anxiety is still there. I probably average one anxiety attack a week right now, and it's frustrating. At this point in my recovery, I'm just fatigued, just kind of done with the anxiety attacks. I know I'm not in danger. There's nothing physically wrong. My life is actually very, very well balanced. I have a wonderful wife, a fun, loving little daughter, and so I'm just frustrated and still don't understand why I'm still getting these anxiety attacks. I am going to, still continually going to therapy, which is very important to me. For me to become a better person, to be the husband and father I want to be, therapy, fitness, faith, and family are the cornerstones of everything that I do. But anyways, I hope in sharing these things and being so open that if you're going through suicidal thoughts, that you'll be able to reach out. Crisis text line, suicide hotline, friends, family. If you can afford it, therapy. If you can't afford it, you can look into some of the programs that go on. Just know that I love you guys. I'm in it, and for you fighting the fight, I know it's hard, but you gotta keep going. You can't give up. That's what Today I Will Achieve is all about. Even if you can't get out of bed, maybe you can share something online that may uplift others. There are people who love you, who care for you, even if it doesn't seem like it. I know depression kind of isolates you, cripples you, and makes you feel like you're completely alone, but just know that you're not. The Today I Will Achieve family is here for you, and it's all just part of the patience and the process to reclaim the mind.